Maggie Hansen. I live in Lakewood, Colorado, but I am from Iowa originally. So some background on me, I'd had some lower back and right side hip issues for years and years, I think since I was a teenager. I think it's related to a car accident that I was in that I never even put together the pieces until I started working with Dr. Wadka, ironically. So I had some chiropractic experience just when I was younger, trying to figure out kind of what was going on. And then when we moved out to Colorado, we were looking for a new chiropractic practice. It can be hard to find one that you trust and that does really great work. So we were recommended to Schwabe Chiropractic from a different practitioner in the area. Got started working with Dr. Wadka, told her a little bit about what I was challenged with. And then in Colorado, Shockwave got introduced. She was like, hey, I think that this would fit in really well with your treatment plan. So that's how I got started. I'm trying to remember exact length of time. I'd been working with Dr. Wadka on chiropractic for maybe between 6 months to 8 months-ish. And we were doing a lot of adjustments and then soft tissue work on that kind of right side hip. I had struggled to get any sort of relief or progress with it until I started working with her. So we saw a lot of improvements, but it wouldn't always stay the longest. So it was really like we would treat it in the moment. I would be good for a few months at a time sometimes, and then it would flare up again. And so I would come back in and get readjusted. So then when we started doing the Shockwave treatments with Colorado Shockwave, I think I did a total of 5 sessions and I have not had a flare up since. It has completely changed the way that I feel about that part of my body. I'm a lot more confident in it now, which is just the biggest relief. So it's really great. It has been, I think, a couple of months at least. And I had already started noticing a massive improvement after my first time. We did an intro appointment to kind of feel out how the Shockwave would work with my system. And I noticed an immediate difference where it just wasn't in my mind anymore. I didn't have to think about it or be overly aware of how I was, putting weight on that side of my body. And so I said, with one appointment, this has already made a difference for me. So I'd like to, go for this and I think I did a total of 5 to really get me there. Yeah. To be really honest, I'd never heard of Colorado Shockwave or really any type of therapy that was similar to that. So coming into it, I really was just hoping that it would be something to help long-term, maybe even just increase the amount of time I could go between appointments. I don't think full recovery was really on my wish list even. And then so to come out of it and be like, I feel the most optimistic out of everything I've ever tried with this, which includes all sorts of different things outside of chiropractics. I think knowing that I have a lot more confidence in it and each treatment kind of built on the next one, it just is a lot more confidence that I can come into this, which is really exciting. I have a lot more strength and again, I keep coming back to the confidence. I felt like before I was so mindful of that part of my body, of not overly stressing it, or I would have maybe a twinge and I would just freak out a little bit to be like, oh, is this going to spiral into something worse and end up in a full-blown flare-up? And I just never really knew what to expect and what I was anticipating. And now with feeling so much stronger in that area of my body, I have better range of motion across the board. I can do more activities that I've been interested in. So I do a lot of Pilates and I've started snowboarding, and that is just something that I honestly never really thought would be an option for me because it's a higher impact on your hips. And so now I just feel like I'm so excited for all these different activities that I get to do because my body has gotten stronger and is more balanced on both sides. So it opened up a whole world of physical activity for me. Gosh, I genuinely cannot say enough good things. I think, again, chiropractics are such a personal type of treatment to me because you have somebody who's actually physically working on your body. And so to have somebody who you not only trust but get along really well with and want to continue to work with them on things was huge. So we originally got referred to you directly, and then I started working with Dr. Wadka, and I've told now multiple friends and family of Dr. Wadka is one of the best practitioners I've ever worked with, just in general. And we continue to kind of spread this around because I know so many people that have consistent struggles with parts of their body and they just don't know how to fix it and have tried multiple different things. And for someone who has also tried multiple different things, to finally find something that actually made a difference and worked, I just want to spread that out to everybody. So I think there's a multitude of reasons why this is helpful. You know, Colorado Shockwave as an actual mechanism, definitely being one of them, but also the people that work in this practice are just so easy to talk to and communicate with and really empathize with the situation that you're in and don't make you feel as isolated with the pain and everything that's a struggle. So the entire process, I would say, was genuinely enjoyable. I would say it is at very, very minimum worth your intro appointment. I think if you try it and you feel like it doesn't make a huge difference for you, it's a thing you've tried. But I think I would be surprised if I recommended this to somebody, they came in for an intro appointment and didn't notice any sort of difference. I think that would be shocking to me. Yeah, if I was speaking to someone who is on the fence about doing Colorado Shockwave, I would say it's at minimum worth doing an intro appointment. I think for me, that first appointment made the biggest difference for me, and I said this was absolutely worth my time to continue. And I would be shocked if somebody, tried that intro appointment and it didn't make a big difference for them. Yeah, I absolutely would do it again. I think there are some other areas of my body that I've considered because I've, again, been working on trying to strengthen those areas. My fiance is also actively starting Shockwave because he saw how much of a difference it made for me, and he's now starting it on an area that he's had some trouble with as well. So I absolutely would do it again. So when it comes to my engagement with Schwabe Chiropractic in general and working with Dr. Wadka, I've had some experience with chiropractics in my life before, and I also have a really close friend of mine who is a chiropractor. And so I've been in and around this world a little bit and almost enough to know that not all chiropractors are created equal. And so I'm very specific when I choose the practice I want to work with. And I use my resources on, what should I be looking for in a chiropractor? And when we were recommended to Schwabe Chiropractic and Dr. Wadka, it fit quite literally every single piece that I was looking for. And then in my intake appointment with Dr. Wadka, there was just a clear difference in the level of education that this practice operates within, the techniques that are used, and I would say the passion that everybody that works here really has for the work that they do. And that's a hard thing for me to find in a lot of other areas. So the fact that everything on paper lined up and then the feeling in the actual room was there, it was a no-brainer for me to start working here.